Last time on Everyone Hates Amy.
Alrighty, well, hello everyone, and welcome back to 4pixels. Coco and Konetsu are here, and we are continuing the house in Fata. After God knows how many episodes, I finally realized I've been mispronouncing it. Morgana.
Fata?
Yeah, it's Fata. I was listening to that, song that plays at the very beginning, and at the very end, they just say it. They say Fata Morgana. I'm like, fuck. Damn it.
Oh well.
Oh well.
We're good
Hello.
now.
Hello, Monteblanc. How are you? Hey, just to be sure we're on the same page, you have Y?
Yeah.
Alrighty then, take it away.
What were you doing out there? Did you... How am I gross, Amy? It's not real. It's all a bunch of lies. This entire house is nothing but a fraud. None of it was ever real. The family gatherings, Amy's smiles, Didier's kindness. Georgie's. What about Georgie's? Did he agree to the marriage knowing about them? What the hell are they thinking? You want to know who's really disgusting? God damn it! I will not cry. I will not cry. I can't let myself. Girls cry. Tears are for girls, not for me.
Men can cry too.
Yeah, Michelle.
In fact, please allow men to cry. God, society doesn't want to let them.
Let Michelle cry. I bit down hard on my lip, wrapped myself in my sheets, and pressed my hands hard over my ears. Squeezed my eyes Squeezed my eyes shut as tight as I could manage. Get away from the things I had seen. Images of them embracing in the night threatened to float back to the surface, but I shook my head, casting them off. Praying I wouldn't have any nightmares. I drifted off to sleep. The next day, I awoke with a terrible fever. I hovered in a sweltering wave of heat, unable to tell dream and reality apart, listening to a seemingly endless stream of crackling noise. The sounds were coming from inside my body. I thought I was falling apart. Mother was horribly worried. I had never been the most healthy child, but I had never fallen this ill either. I couldn't get out of bed. My voice was raspy, like an old woman's. I was genuinely afraid I would wither away and die. Mother called in doctor after doctor to see me, but they all said it was the flu. That bodily pain was common with a fever. While there was a doctor in the house, Mother was able to remain relatively calm, but once they were gone, the anxiety came. She stayed with me day and night, even foregoing sleep. Her hands gripped mine. They held me fast. She had her head bowed as if in prayer. Don't worry. It'll be all right, Michelle. God is watching over you. He will protect you. You are his child. You are his angel sent to earth. He will not forsake you. The doctors say it's just the flu. Though her words seemed to be directed at me, there was a vacantness in her voice, as if they were really for herself. For so long, she had wanted a daughter. I couldn't understand her fixation, but seeing her there through my cloudy eyes, I wanted to apologize for ever thinking spending time with her was agonizing. How are you feeling? Your mother's here for you, don't worry. But the only sound that came from my mouth was a faint gasp. I drifted in and out of sleep, Mother's hand wrapped around my own, and I had numerous dreams. In my dreams, I was a man. In my dreams, I was Didier and I was Georgie's. In my dreams, I fell in love with Amy. And in my dreams, I loved her.
You're disgusting.
But with one word, the dreams twisted into nightmares. My body was torn into fleshy chunks, and I sunk into the darkness. Several days later, my fever was gone, like it had never been there. How? What the? My voice did not recover. And when I attempted to climb from my bed, the murderous pain in my joints came rushing back. Instead of my feet, I landed on my face. Whoa! My voice was unbelievably deep. And the pain only got worse. Every time I took a breath, it felt like someone hammering a spike into the back of my neck. It felt like my body was falling apart, like my dreams were becoming reality. Michelle! Michelle! When Mother scrambled into my chambers, I remembered the time she had spent at my bedside, and a wave of relief came over me. I reached my hand out in a show of vulnerability, but she didn't take it. She couldn't take it. Mother. What's wrong with your voice, Michelle? I see. You're still not feeling well, are you, Michelle? A look of restrained fear on her face, Mother stepped toward me, placing her hand on my forehead. Her palm felt hot against my... You don't have a fever, but I hurt all over. My joints. You're still sick, Michelle, but don't worry, you'll be fine in no time. Now, back to bed with you. You're a girl. You're a girl, so you shouldn't be sitting on the floor. It's bad for your back. As Mother repeated the phrase, "You're a girl," again and again, that nagging sense that something wasn't quite right grew more distinct. Was I really sick? Was this actually my voice now? And if it was, what was I turning into? My voice was certainly not a girl's voice. Oh. My voice never went back to normal, though, so Mother ordered me to remain in my room. I hadn't recovered yet, and so long as I was sick, I couldn't be let out. Again, something felt wrong about her calling it a sickness, but I had no evidence to the contrary. I had no way to know I wouldn't get others sick if I exposed them, as she claimed, so I had no choice but to do as she said. In time, Mother too stopped visiting me, and the only people I saw were servants. They did their jobs, but refused to look me in the eye. No one else came to see me, though. Not Amy, Didier, or Georgie's. 1 month passed, then 2, then 3. Occasionally, the pain in my joints would withdraw. At other times, it would worsen. Whenever I would drift off to sleep, I hear the sound of my own joints creaking. I would dream of a woman standing in the courtyard, her soft chestnut hair fluttering in the wind as she twirled to face me, a smile on her face and her breasts exposed. One day, after around 6 months of servants refusing to make eye contact, I stopped one and made a request: to have a mirror brought to my room. While he didn't acknowledge me, the next day I had my mirror. By that point, I was fairly certain I knew what was happening to my body. I had no clothes to wear, because none of the multicolored dresses hanging in my wardrobe fit me anymore. Pulling the heavy red cloth covering the mirror aside, my completely naked body came into view. Something resembling a mix of a chuckle and a sigh of pity spilled from my lips. This is me. 6 months.
Oh, Jesus. 6 months in that room.
Just sitting there. After only 6 months' time, I could hardly recognize myself. Extending my hand for the mirror, I traced the outline of my bony reflection. My shoulders lacked mother's curves and my skin Amy's sheen. I was pale and haggard, but structurally, I looked like my brother. Obviously, being younger than them and not as active, my muscles lacked any kind of strength, but I wouldn't have batted an eye if I saw myself holding a... I was a full head taller than I had been 6 months earlier, and I felt an odd certainty that I wasn't done growing either. Staring at myself in the mirror, I traced my name across the surface. Michelle. Don't need the last two. Ooh. Ooh! You're pretty, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in my life, I liked my name. I still didn't think an angel's name suited me one bit, but it was staggering how different it felt now, even if it sounded exactly the same. Those last 2 letters changed the meaning entirely, turning it from a girl's name to a boy's. Now this makes sense. Everything was falling into place. My admiration for Didier, the envy I had for my brother's bodies, the feelings I had for Amy, the indecent dreams I'd been having. I was always male. I cackled like a fool for the first time in my life. I laughed so hard at the sight of myself, my stomach hurt. It was the first glimmer of light I had seen in this locked room for far too long. This was what I was supposed to look like. My life up until 6 months ago, constricted and uncomfortable. My life as a girl was all a lie. Laughter. No one could possibly look at me and call me an angel. More laughter. I was always a boy, but I had been told I was a girl, forced to act like one. Of course, that wouldn't feel right. Oh, wait! So they made him grow up as a girl?
I'm going to guess that Michelle... It could be 2 things. It could either be that Michelle was born intersex, which is what I'm going to lean towards, or there was actually some magical transformation. But I'm thinking intersex.
They needed to know. I couldn't be the only one who understood. Everyone in this house needed. Fueled by this one desire, I wrapped a sheet over my shoulders and threw open my door. It seemed ridiculous how long I had followed Mother's instructions and remained cooped up in my room. And now I felt fantastic. If there truly was a God in heaven, then this change within me was his answer to my prayer. A manservant carrying a tray of food did a double take as I passed him. The farther I proceeded through the corridors, the more eyes I felt on me. The midday sun shone obnoxiously bright through the windows. But now, with its piercing radiation illuminating my proper self, I felt an odd affection for the light.
Worm is right.
Oh, yeah. I could hear the family gathered in the great hall, everyone but me. Didier's voice complained about the simple meals the church provided, but his pride came in through his laugh. Georgie's voice playfully bragged about life at the royal court. Father's voice informed everyone his investments had borne fruit, and with the money he had purchased several new estates. Mother's voice was distinctly less bright than the rest of the family's. She gave vague, empty indications she was listening, though mostly stayed out of the conversation. Amy's voice sang her praises for Georgie's, her beloved husband. Never mind the fact that she was sleeping with Didier. It was all a facade, a mere shadow of a family. It's a shame Michelle couldn't be here. Then we would have everyone. I was there. I was right there. I hadn't gone anywhere. You had just locked me in my room. I hope she recovers soon. I was never sick at all. The child you called Michelle was actually your son. That was all there was to it.
Huh? What?
Everyone's gaze is concentrated on me. I gave them all a quick glance, and then, with my deepened voice, I said, I am cured. I was cured 6 months ago.
Who are you?
Surely you haven't forgotten my face, have you? Father. Michelle?
Michelle? This boy is Michelle?
A wave of chatter spread through the hall. Mother went pale. Father objected. Didier stared. Georges gaped. Amy watched cautiously, fear in her eyes. What a farce. They were the ones who had wrongly decided I was a girl.
What's going on? Someone tell me, what is the meaning of this? You're dressing your son up like a girl, Mother. I assumed he was a girl. Otherwise, I wouldn't have
Been an asshole? No, you can go die.
put my hands on him like that. You lied to me! I would never have agreed to it had I known.
No, you're wrong. Michelle is my daughter.
You call that a girl? All these months I was worried because you said he was sick. But that was all a lie. You couldn't pass him off as a girl anymore, so you locked him up in his room. Is that what this is? And you could have just stayed there. What possessed you to show yourself now? Stop that! Don't look at me! Don't give me that look!
You said you can tell what's going through my mind, didn't you?
What?
Then you should know exactly how I feel about you right now. Don't be so damn full of yourself. I have no interest in a whore like you. So why don't you go cry into Didier's arms?
You! What, huh? What are you talking about? Why Didier? Why not me? What? Hey, anyone want to explain that for me?
What had once been a nice family meal was now utter chaos. For the briefest moment, I felt sorry for Georges, but that whisked away almost immediately. There was a crash from the table, and dishes fell, shattering against the floor. Cursed. A chilling darkness oozed from her voice. She's cursed. She was my daughter. I saw it with my own eyes. I gave birth to her. She was a girl. Michelle was a girl. A malevolent curse has been placed on her. When Mother lifted her head, I had difficulty believing that was the same woman who had sat by my bedside as I lay sick, sacrificing sleep to care for me. Her hair was a frazzled mess, and deep creases covered her face. Restrain her! Throw her in the room and lock the door! She's a girl! A girl! She was a girl! I swear it! Open your eyes! Do I sound like a girl? Do I look anything like a girl? Mother's cry sent me into a frenzy. I ripped the sheet off my shoulders, throwing it to the floor. I am not a girl! And shouted.
Eek!
Restrain her. Please, someone restrain her. Fear reigned in the great hall. But then, several moments of icy silence were broken by a muttering that shocked me as much as anyone else.
You're not a boy or a girl. What on earth are you? You're an abomination!
You're not a boy. You're an abomination. I'm... what? I had seen myself in the mirror. I was undoubtedly male. Lacking in strength though they may have been, I had visible muscles. My chest was flat, and I was taller than a girl should be. My voice was deep, and I had an obvious lump in the middle of my throat. I was male. I had to be male. What else could I be? So why? Why was Amy looking at me like some kind of strange creature? A chill ran down my spine, and I suddenly found myself deeply uncomfortable being so exposed.
There's nothing there! You've got nothing there!
Oh, I see what you mean now. Nothing there. I didn't understand what she was talking about. Unable to press further, I fell silent, at which point several servants burst into the great hall and restrained me. She's a girl. She's my daughter. Mother, seemingly in a mad daze, just repeated the same thing over and over. She was a girl! As Mother wailed, she wandered off somewhere. Father stood there in silence. Amy stared at me with disgust in her eyes. Georgie's was still in a panic, and Didier clenched his fists. Eventually, I started regaining my composure, which is when I realized I had made a mistake. My sickness had been made into a curse. I was, once more, caged up in my room. In addition to the door being locked from the outside, the windows were boarded over so no one could see in, leaving me in perpetual darkness. I received no visitors except the servants, and again, none of them would look me in the eye. Every day was the same, day in and day out, day in and day out. The only time the routine changed was when, on occasion, a servant would arrive bearing a letter. It was my mother's handwriting on the parchment. We lived in the same house, yet she refused to show herself before me. I had no choice but to respond to her letters. She demanded I speak like a girl, and I didn't have the strength to defy her. There was a constant sense of urgency to her letters, like she might fall apart completely at any second. And so I did as she said. I signed each letter Michelle, the female name she bestowed upon me at birth, which I so despised. Every time I used that name, I felt like I was denying my own identity. On paper, she expressed her concern for me, but that concern only served to cause me more pain. So every time I took up my quill, my hands trembled. Mother, pray daily that my curse might one day be broken. Am I cursed? Is that why my body changed? Was it not because I was male? There's nothing there. What did she mean by that? Why did she look at me the way she did? How am I an abomination? Why? I don't understand. Someone, anyone, please tell me. Someone, please!
I have brought your supper. I will be back shortly to retrieve your dishes. I'll be going then.
Wait.
What?
Wait a minute.
Yes. What do you need, Michelle?
Are you a man or a woman?
Pardon?
Which are you?
I am exactly what I appear to be.
Which are you?
I am a man. If that is all, I will be going now. Oh.
Off.
What?
Take your clothes off right now. Everything. Even your underclothes.
Michelle, no, this isn't the way to go about this. Surely you jest, Michelle.
I am very serious.
I could not possibly.
Why not?
I could not expose myself.
I ordered you to take off your clothes.
You mean to humiliate me? I beg you, please reconsider.
What are you? You're a servant of the Bollinger estate. And what am I? I am a child of the Bollinger family. I may be locked up, imprisoned in this room, but that's any less my son. Am I wrong? Clothes off.
Michelle!
I ordered you to take your clothes off. Not even the tiniest sliver of guilt arose in my conscience. I felt no shame in what I was doing. All that mattered to me was figuring out what Amy had meant. I wanted to find the truth, not knowing I would have been better off in the. His face twisted in humiliation, the servant undressed before me. In the dim candlelight, the man's body was shaped almost like a rectangle, and at a glance, he didn't appear much different than me. A second later, though, I found my answer. I found the one crucial thing he had that I didn't. Why? My lower body lacked the part that made a man a man.
Are you satisfied, Michelle?
It was then that I finally learned what a man's body was supposed to look like.
I'm begging you, please allow me to dress. It would be an unbearable shame to remain unclothed any longer before the young bull and her daughter.
Daughter. You still insist on calling me a damned girl. Look at these shoulders, my chest, listen to my voice. How can you possibly think any of that belongs to a girl?
But how you appear does not.
There was a distinct look of fear in the manservant's eyes. Not out of respect for our difference in rank, but out of disgust for this incomprehensible thing standing there before him. Those trembling eyes, and the reality dangling there before me, blew the lid once more off everything I had been holding back. Without that, you would be no different than me.
What?
Everything else is all the same. So why does it make such a difference? That you have one and I don't?
Michelle.
I am a man. I'm a man, just like you. I am no one's daughter. And if you still insist we're not the same, then I'll make you like me.
Ah!
Without that, you're no different than me. Oh, please don't tell me he pulled it off. I mean, he would be super strong to do that. It was a mix of dread and panic that pushed me over the edge. And so, in order to keep myself afloat, I decided to bring another.
Please don't do this, Michelle!
In a blind frenzy, hardly even aware of what I was doing, just riding the current of my erupting emotions. No, Michelle!
Oh, Christ, no, please, Michelle.
I swiped a knife off the tray the man had brought, knocked him down, and climbed onto him. I'll get rid of it. I'll make you the same. Without it, you'll be just like me.
Get off me, please! Someone, help!
I'll make you just like me.
Get in here, someone! Anyone! Michelle! She's delirious!
Oh, the music and that voice that comes so...
Oh, what was that? You kind of got cut off.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, the background music where that, like, distortion comes in is so creepy.
Yeah.
Through the fog of hysteria, I suddenly realized I was surrounded by several servants, and the next thing I knew, I was on the floor beneath. There were as many, if not more of them, than when I had made the scene in the great hall. A dozen men servants stared down at me, their eyes filled with fear and revulsion. And in the shadows beyond the crowd, I saw Mother looking in on me with vacant eyes. Mother. Mother! Why? Why will you only speak to me through letters? Why do you say I'm cursed? Mother! I'm male. I was always male. Tell me that I am, Mother. Let me out of here, please! I'm not delirious. My head is perfectly clear. I'm normal. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not cursed. Mother, say something! Mother! After that, I was shut in my room again, and even the servants stopped. I pushed and I shoved and I pulled and I pounded with all my strength, but the door and windows wouldn't budge. A day passed, and then another. With no food or water, I started fearing death was upon me. I'd had no idea how miserable it was to go so long without water. My throat was dry and cracked, and it felt like it was on fire, making breathing difficult. 2 days. 48 long.
If she locked herself in the bathroom for that long, there's no doubt. It's shit.
I love you guys so much.
There's no way she'd admit it. There's no way she'd admit she was taking a shit. I'm glad we're focusing on this in the middle of a murder trial.
I know, right? It is very important.
Hello everyone and welcome back to 4pixels. All your pixels are here with guest Ryan and we are continuing Danganronpa 2.